The day has finally arrived for my brew day, which feels like it's been a long time coming. I am slowly developing my New England IPA recipe, which I've called Hazy Town. So just printed it off up there. I'm about to measure everything out. I cleaned the fermenter yesterday, so that's ready. I've got to measure everything out, mill it, which I'll show you some footage of, and then get cracking with the brew day. So here's the crush that I've gone for. As you can see, the husks of the barley and the wheat are relatively intact, which is what you look for. That helps and aids with the drainage. But then there's also a lot of broken up barley, oats and wheat. So really happy with that. I do crush my own. So when milling the different varieties of grain, more so with the oats, you need to make sure you're closing the mill gap, as I've just found out. Usually I throw all the grains in together and then just mill them all at the same time, but I thought I'd mill them separately today just to see what it looked like. I should have got it on video, to be honest. Would have been good to see. I'll do it next time. And yeah, I'm just mashing in now. So all the grains are in, stirred up. Now what I like to do is I like to leave it 5 minutes just to let the bed settle before putting the recirculation arm on, or the pump on. And once I turn the pump on, I will then start my 1 hour timer. This resting period for me just helps with the drainage, I have found personally, and helps to get a much clearer wort a lot sooner. However, because of the amount of protein in this grist from the wheat and the oats, I might experience a stuck mash, in which case I'll just have to take off this top plate and then give it a good stir and start again. I'll probably add some rice hulls as well. I like to have some of them handy just in case I ever do experience a stuck sparge. And they can be a lifesaver sometimes, so that's a good one to keep note of if you're an all-grain brewer. It's been a few minutes now, so I'm just going to gag in this red handle, and where it says add grain, just going to start that, and then just slowly open. So I'll get a bit of a trickle going there. Might gag that in a touch just while it starts off. And then I'll be using this time to vacuum and seal these bags again, put everything away, neaten up, and then get back to it. 4 minutes left of the mash there before we start the mashing out process, raising it up to about 75 degrees. Past couple of minutes, just been using the vac sealer just to weigh out and measure my dry hop additions for day 3 and day 8. Got my 10-minute additions there, my whirlpool additions there, in case you're wondering what's going on there. That's my oak fodder, trying to keep it relatively warm. Obviously it's getting quite cold out here, so in the winter just I'm kind of hoping it helps prevent any frost issues. But yeah, now I'll just clean the rest of this away and start to heat up my sparge water. We've reached the end of the mash out now, so you can see lovely colour, quite nice clarity as well. Gonna start the sparge. The heating's on full, so I'm about to start that. This is the bucket that I use to mill into, and then transferred the grains from inside this bucket into the Grainfather. So I use this bucket for my sparge water as well, which is why it's not so clear. There's a lot of dust on the bucket, so it kind of cleans the bucket and also collects the sugars to be put back in for the boil. So I'm about to start that now. I think, does it say? It says 11 litres to go in, so I'll be shucking that in now, and then hopefully the boil doesn't take too long. Another lesson learned on a brew day. I didn't label up my boil additions, and as soon as the boil started, out of habit, I just added my first set of additions without thinking, which should have been my 10-minute additions and not my 30-minute ones. So I've had to cut my boil 20 minutes short, so I only did a 10-minute boil just to try and keep the IBUs the same. Just almost at 80 degrees now, ready to add my whirlpool additions. But yeah, really annoying. I've added, obviously because the boil was a bit shorter, I didn't evaporate off as much water, so I've added a little bit of brewing sugar just to accommodate for the extra liquid, and so hopefully I can try and keep everything a little bit balanced. As it was only a half-hour boil anyway, I didn't miss my target massively, I don't think. I did my refractometer, and I don't always trust it, it's not that accurate for some reason, but it said 1053 and I was aiming for 1057, so it wasn't too far away, but again with the extra water I would have been even further away, so that's why I added just a couple of teaspoons of sugar. So yeah, we'll see. Currently transferring cooling and into the top of the unit tank, coming through at 18.7 degrees. So obviously it's getting to November now, so obviously groundwater is quite cool, so it's doing that quite easily. Unfortunately I didn't get my numbers today, which is quite frustrating. I always seem to be on the lower side despite dropping my mash efficiency on Brewfather, which is annoying. But so the original gravity that I've got, if you can kind of make that out, I kind of go level and read right across, so I make that 1055. I was aiming for 1060, so 5 points off isn't great, but you know, yeah, we live and we learn. But I've had fun anyway, despite it. Learn some things I can do better next time, and yeah, I'm sure it'll still be lovely regardless. So I'm gonna be fermenting this with hophead ale yeast. I haven't used this before, it's the first time. I usually go for a verdant, except I got a few different New England IPA, hoppy IPA style yeast just to give them a go. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated with how we get on. Cheers.